Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles on my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. I think I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Look all around, nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, nothing but blue skies. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day.
Christina. Welcome, everyone. Good morning. Aloha. I know you're here. Beautiful. My name is Michelle LeMay. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Kauai. I'm on the board of trustees, and I'm also a licensed practitioner, and I have the great privilege of sharing all the goodness that we have going on here, because we have a fun-filled center, and it starts directly after service. We have our men's and women's gathering that'll be happening about 15 minutes after service. We'll be inviting you to either join the circle here for the ladies, or the men will be going out to the Men's Mindful Treehouse, which is technically a pavilion by the beach. So we will invite you for that. And this month, it's all about celebrating important women in our life. We celebrated International Women's Day, I think it was last week. So what we'd like the women to do is bring a story of an important woman in your life, and it can include you. And the men, you're going to all be diving in and talking about the divine feminine that each and every one of us have. So it's going to be a wonderful gathering directly after service. Hey, I'm just saying what's on here, so it'll be great. It'll be perfect. And then on Wednesday, we have twice a month, we have spiritual living circles. The first one is this coming Wednesday from 4 to 5:30 in Kalaheo with Rebecca DeRoos. And then the following Wednesday from 3 to 4 with Anna Myers in Princeville. So their details are also in your programs. And then this Thursday, we're very excited to continue our New Thought Meet and Greet. This is a series of, now it's contemporary metaphysicians. So Reverend Rita is going to be talking about her favorite, Dr. Joe Dispenza. So we've been hearing all about him through the talks the past couple of months, but now we get to come and have a full hour and a half of all about his work and his life, and that's on Thursday from 6:30 to 8. So join Reverend Rita for Joe Dispenza and learning all about him. Yes, he's up and coming. And then next Thursday is going to be our healing circle. That's going to be from 6:30 to 7:30, and it's a meditation, but this time we're going to be doing it with these crystal singing bowls. That is new to Rita's life. We're going to be bringing that into the center, and it's all about the intention of revealing the true inner you. So come join us for this beautiful meditation. It's done with the Revs, but also the practitioners here at the center. And that's going to be again on next Thursday, the 28th from 6:30 to 7:30. And then that following evening is going to be our spiritual cinema. We do this every month, the last Friday of the month. This month, the showing is going to be a movie called Resurrection from 1980, way back, bringing it way back. With Ellen Bernstein, where she is involved in an accident and crosses over and comes back, and many believe that she has healing powers. So come join us for that. I just got chicken skin talking about it. So that is Resurrection. That's going to be on the 29th from 6:30 onwards. We always have popcorn and a lively discussion afterwards for those who'd like to stay for that. And then last but not least, and something that's really important, is Kids in Art. It's a free art program that Reverend Rita and Reverend Patrick, they've hosted before. They're wanting to do it again. And it's for kids who are 9 through 12 years old. They do not have to be part of CSL. It could be any kids that you know in the community that are from 9 to 12. It's free for them. It meets 6 weeks in a row on Fridays, and it starts March 29th. So we do have a sign-up sheet in the back for that. We'd like to fill that up this week, please. And that they meet from 3:30 to 5 every Friday for 6 weeks. So it's a great opportunity. They do something different every single week. The Revs facilitate. They have other facilitators that come in. So it's really fun. It was a huge success, and we want to have that success once again in Kids in Arts. Alrighty, well, thank you so much for your kind attention. It's happy to be back. I'm happy to be back. Thank you. And here's Reverend Rita and Reverend Patrick.
Thank you, Michelle. Before we do our peace candle, I do want to say something about Michelle. Michelle has been traveling a lot, and today's Recognition Day. I woke up today so grateful about all of you, but I just want to pull out a couple people, and that would be our wonderful Michelle, who has been so busy. But let me tell you something. She has never once lost the pulse of this center. No matter where she's at, no matter where she goes, she runs this Malama team, gets them all going. She never misses a beat. So I want to thank you, and I know how much you miss us, and we miss you. And then before we do that, I know this was not, before I have one more recognition, I just wanted you to know that somebody entered the building a couple nights ago, and it's hard to talk about, shampooed the carpet. I wanted to call it a break-in, but but then, when I found out what happened, I said, no pressing charges, man. So Glenn Head doesn't want to be recognized, but he snuck in here and did the entire center. So, did you like that? Did you think we might have been broken into? God, I'm good, aren't I? Think about it. So let's just take some time for quiet, because we can. We can laugh, we can cry, we can do a whole bunch of things. But before we even go on with that, we just want to take a moment here as we light the peace candle. We're inviting Reverend Diane up as well to just reach our hearts out to New Zealand. And if you don't know what happened, it's fine. I'm not getting into the details, but we lost some brothers and sisters who were in worship in their mosque and were killed. So, yeah, it's besides that, I mean, just to stand up here and they say, are prayers any good anymore? Is this, you know what? I'm going to be really honest with you. We do not have the luxury to stop praying. We do not have the luxury to stop loving. I don't care how much it seems repetitive. We have a lot of messages that have been repeating from the negative side of our lives. It is time that we continue to do repetition for the positive things. And I will never, ever stop loving, never stop praying. These families and these wonderful souls that have not died, they continue to live right here, right now in our hearts. So I feel honored for us to be able to take this time. Yeah.
So let's just take a breath together and know that there is only one thing going on in this world, and it's this thing called life. It is moving in and through each one of us as the divine expression in each of our unique ways. And so I speak this word of blessing today, knowing that all those beings everywhere, in the seen and in the unseen, alive and no longer with us on this earthly plane, are blessed by the divine energy of the power, the presence, and the love of God. It is moving each one of us. It is moving in and through each one of us. It is expressing through each and every one of us as love, as peace, as beauty, as devotion, as well-being and wholeness. And so I speak this word now, knowing that there is nothing going on in this world except for this thing called peace, this thing called life, this thing called the amazing expression of God moving in and through each one of us in a way that is in fact divine and is perfect. And so I know in this moment that those souls are not lost, but they have called us to a deeper place of knowing the truth that we are all one. And that this world is a world that works for everyone, regardless of faith, regardless of race, regardless of expression of who they are a divine expression of the one life that we call God, called by many names. It's all the same thing. And we are all love in it. And so, I affirm peace. I affirm love. I affirm the beauty of life itself. And I give thanks for each one of us here standing in support of that truth. I release my word to the law of mind and spirit, knowing that it takes this word, this prayer, and demonstrates it in a way that does not just fill this room, but goes out as that divine flow of energy, touching the lives of each person everywhere. And so the word is spoken and it is done, and I am grateful. And so it is.
And now we'll take a moment of silence.
Returns to me.
Thank you.
Excuse me, I'm just going to switch.
Okay. Thank
She
you,
has her own
everyone,
mic.
for taking that moment. Thank you, Reverend Diane, for your beautiful treatment. And now,
I guess you're not speaking right now,
no,
are you?
I'm not speaking.
I got so lost in
I
the
am
vibe,
speaking.
people.
I know we were
It's
we were
okay, these are
transported.
family.
Yeah. So
Wow.
yeah, let's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
take a minute to let that settle. Okay.
What an opportunity, yes, that we get to do this, that we get to have this opportunity to come together in a gathering and be able to send our love to our global love, knowing that there is no separation. Such an honor. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, we lifted.
Where are we, Rita?
consciousness.
Tell us where we
are
are.
actually at a Center for Spiritual Living.
That's where we are.
Yeah, where we practice the science of mind and spirit, a beautiful ancient teaching brought together by a man named Ernest Holmes, a mystic of the 1900s, who just took all the different teachings that of the world, all the different philosophies that are based in love, and brought them together and synthesized them into one thing so that we could use it in our lives. And that one thing is the power that lies within us, that power and presence of the Spirit of God, Source, whatever we want to call it, that we get to tap into. It is who we are, and we get to use it with the power of our thought and the power of our minds. So when our minds and our hearts are brought together, then there's nothing that we cannot accomplish in this world. So I love it. I love it.
Okay, I'm back in centered position now. So who is here for and this time? One got away last time. Oh, he's back. One got away last time. They didn't raise their hand, but I found him. Who is here for the very first time? There you go. And
Aloha.
and we always know them by what? Their shells.
Unless they escape.
So it's very clever. So last week we did not have one, but one snuck in and said, "Oh yeah, this is my first time." But this is your first time, and you're wondering what's going on here. We have some information about you that we just want to share with everyone and let you know that we know this about you, and nothing to really get too nervous about. But it's just some things. So I think we should just let them know what we know. Okay, ready? You are magnificent. There you go.
He already knows it.
So, here, it gets better. I'm not kidding. First time here, you're like, does it get better? Yes, of course it does. Because we know that about you, because we found that out about ourselves, and that's how we recognized you. So shall we all say it together? I am magnificent. And as we climb this consciousness ladder, there's behind you right there, there's Rob, who's got these little headsets on, and Jonathan's over there looking all cool and everything today. And here we go. So on that line, there are people watching us. I know Michael and Carrie are in today
And
watching live.
Gary.
And Gary's a newbie. So, and what we mean by newbie is, Gary, we see you. This is like a romper room moment, Gary. We see our friend Gary, and he is watching for the very first time. So I think we should let all these people who are either off island or in their pajamas here on the island watching it, let's let them know who they are. You are magnificent. Now look to your left, to your right. I don't care where you look. Just let somebody know who they are. You are magnificent. Natalie's magnificent. Doug's magnificent. Michelle. Wow, you guys are like crazy. This is like a spiritual bar at 2 a.m., man. Everybody, on your feet, your magnificent feet for our opening song. Woo!
My good is my God is my good. All the good there is belongs to me. My good is my God is my good. All the good belongs to me. That's my truth with a capital T. It's all about living free. My good is my God. My good is my God. I have all I'll ever need. My good is my God.
And what I know about that right now is that there is only God, there is only love, there is only this divine presence that moves through everything, that breathes through everything, that is breathing through me, breathing me right now, breathing me with the beat of my heart and every cell in my body. And I know that same presence breathes through each and every person here and beyond. All of creation is that power, that light, that energy, that love. And so I know we can bring that here today. We are bringing that here today and celebrating that together as one. And I know that right here where we are, perfection is. And this celebration proceeds from that point on, moment by moment by moment, in that perfection. And everyone receives exactly what they need to receive in this moment and gives exactly what they need to give. This is a divine appointment for each of us, and I am grateful for it. I know it flows perfectly, and I just take this word that I've spoken, giving gratitude in advance for all of it as I release my word as law, as we affirm together, and so it is.
My good is my God is my good. All the good there is belongs to me. My good is my God is my good. All the good I see belongs to me. That's my truth with a capital T. It's all about living free. My good is my God. My good is my God. I have all I'll ever need. My good is my God. My good is my God.
Beautiful. Thank you, Maria. As you're settling back into your seats, I'm going to lead us in a few moments of meditation. My name is Michelle LeMay, and I'm a CSL licensed practitioner. Yay! And just as a reminder, if you could check your phones as well, just to be sure they don't disrupt meditation or the rest of the service, that would be great. And then as you settle in, you can close your eyes if that feels good, or I invite you to leave them open if that feels better. Whatever feels good for you. I just heard a phone. So we'll give a moment. And as we're settling in this beautiful feelings that we have here, and take all this within, knowing that we can always, always go within. I'll leave you with a thought. This is by William Paul Young. Wholeness is when the way of our being matches the truth of our being. Wholeness is when the way of our being matches the truth of our being. Wholeness is when the way of our being matches the truth of our being. And knowing that this space that's within this glorious God space is right here and right now. And in this moment is exactly where God is. Everywhere, seen and unseen, this creative energy that is whole, perfect, and complete continues to create and grow with love and with truth, the truth being the wholeness. And since this God energy is everywhere all the time, and there is literally not a spot where God is not, I know the same energy courses through me as a divine expression. And because I know this for myself, I know this for each and every person in this room, online, on this island, off this island, throughout the universe, all these beings are God in action, divine expressions of the one truth, already whole, perfect, and complete. And because I know this for all beings, I know this for all lives, that all lives are already whole, perfect, and complete. Bringing this wholeness into our health, knowing perfect health for our bodies, minds, and souls. Knowing this wholeness in our creative expression, in our professions, our creativity, our beauty, and how we show up in life, already whole. And knowing that this wholeness is in our finances, whole, perfect, and complete already, overflowing with that love, with that energy that's God in action that we call abundance in all its forms. And knowing that this wholeness is already in all relations, with ourselves and with others. And knowing that this wholeness is where life happens. Life unfolds in this wholeness, in this perfectness. And it's all good, it's all love, and it's all God. And I'm so grateful for knowing all of it. Knowing the wholeness, knowing the peace, knowing the completeness of each and every being and their lives. And knowing that everything that happens in this wholeness, in our whole life, reverberates into our friends, our families, our communities, and the world. It all makes a difference, and it's already all whole. I'm grateful for this and so much more. As I release my word as law, knowing that it comes back full and fulfilled because it's already done. And together we affirm it. And so it is.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am. Letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes to see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when it seems I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I can hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only
I love that song. Thank you, Maria Christine, and thank you, Michael Gott. So, I guess we're talking about for the good of the whole today. Yeah, for those that walked in after we were introduced, I'm Rev Rita, if you don't know me already. And I really love this topic, and it means a lot to me, this idea of for the good of the whole. And I kind of looked it up. I did look it up on a website that is for the good of the whole that Marion and Glenn introduced us to. And they say that our vision is a world where every individual feels valued, connected, and fully expressed within a unified whole. Our mission is to cultivate an ethos of wholeness and nurture our innate capacity to live for the good of the whole. Yes. So we have a similar vision statement in Centers for Spiritual Living, which says a world that works for everyone. And then it goes into detail from there. But I just want to go back to this. Our vision is a world where every individual feels valued, connected, and fully expressed within a unified whole. So our mission as ministers, Patrick and I, and in this teaching of the science of mind, is to assist in the understanding that in order to feel valued, you have to feel valued yourself first. Because we live, like I said before, with the power of our mind and our thoughts, and what we put out comes back to us. So if we find ourselves at a time where we don't feel valued, more than likely there's something within us that doesn't feel valued. Because if we're looking to the outside to get valued, it's never going to happen. Even if somebody gives us, somebody could tell me a million times how pretty I am or whatever, but if I don't feel pretty inside, then it's never going to matter. Have you ever experienced that? Do you know what I'm talking about? If you don't, stick with me. Okay. Connected. Okay, so connected for me in this philosophy is this idea that I'm always connected to a higher power. I'm always connected to everyone because we all live in this one field, this one quantum field, this one mind, whatever you want to call it. But I feel connected. So I feel connected to you because I'm living in this one field with you, and I know that you are me and I am you. And also, I'm connected because of this one field, this one power, this one energy, this one source. Call it God, whatever you want. It's a divine thing, and it's connected, and we're all connected in it. And actually, we can't be unconnected from it. We could think that we are, but it's impossible because it recognizes us to the level that we recognize it, if that makes sense. So whatever we're experiencing, we're expressing this connection to this higher mind, this higher God, this field, in our understanding of it. That's why you can never take somebody's God away from them, unless you could give them a better one, because you could never give them a better one, because the God you have is the God that you have, the God that you experience, because God is not a person on a cloud. It's an experience. It's a feeling. It's a presence that lives us. So, and then fully expressed within the unified whole. So, fully expressed to me means that you and me and all of us have tapped in to what is ours to fully express. And we've allowed ourselves to let that move through us and express it. And sometimes people will say, oh, I don't know what I'm supposed to be expressing. But I say you do know. You might not be listening, but you do know. And sometimes you have to move other things out of the way in order to express it. So what I know, and two, is what the good of the whole is not. The good of the whole is not sacrificing your true self for something or an experience that is less than your true self. It is not a thing. The only way that it could be sacrificed to me is if we have to sacrifice a part of our mind that's standing in the way of expressing our true selves. You could use that as a sacrifice, but it is not sacrificing your true self for what you think you're supposed to be doing in life. At least this is my feeling. I'm telling you what I think. So you can think what you want, but I'm just all right. So I have to ask myself, do I feel whole? Do I feel like I can contribute to this planet in a way that's uplifting and inspirational? Am I making a contribution to life as Rita? Am I making a contribution to life as Rita while living true Rita? Right? That's why I don't like it when people volunteer. I would never make somebody volunteer for something they didn't feel passionate about. Patrick and I are on the same page with that. We have lots of volunteers in here, and I know that the ones that are volunteering are passionate about what they volunteer about. They're not doing it just because they should. Can you imagine if you were doing something just because you felt like you should, and there'd be no love behind it, right? There would be no connection to it. You wouldn't be giving anything. You would just be doing something because you thought you should do it, right? So I appreciate all the people that serve in the center and serve the world because they're serving from that place within them that says, this is mine to do. This is mine to do. So if we want to think about like wholeness, I like to, in the way I'm talking about it, good of the whole, I used to be a theater teacher, and I taught and I directed lots of productions with kids, and productions with adults too. But I would love it because for me, that's the perfect idea of the good of the whole. If it's done correctly, and with kids, it's easy to do because they will step up and they will say, this is mine to do. I love to do lights. I love, can we do this? And you give them the complete power to do it because that's their passion. And then this whole thing, everybody's doing their thing, they're acting, their backstage stuff and everything. And then everything comes together for this beautiful production. And that's what life is. It's a beautiful production that we're all playing a part in for the good of the whole, or not, right? Because there's some situations, as we've seen lately, where people think it's for the good of the whole, but in reality, they might think that, but you can't have the good of the whole and then be hurting other people, and I mean taking their rights away. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's not for the good of the whole. That's the good of the individual or individual group, and it's not the same, and it's not the same as what I was talking about with sacrifice. So I'm kind of teaching a lesson here on the good of the whole, but another way is our bodies, right? Our bodies are for the good of the whole all the time. When something goes wrong, every other part of our body comes in to make sure everything's okay. When we get cut, right, everything comes in to make sure that wound heals and all the parts of their body work. I'm not a doctor, but I had a dad that was a doctor, and I know that is what it does. It comes together to make sure we're okay. That's the God within us, the light within us, the energy within us that is always taking care of us for the good of the whole, for the good of our whole, right? So, I wanted to talk about one other thing. And this is this idea of unexpressed selves, which can really damage the good of the whole. And so we want to make sure we look out for it in ourselves, because we have a thing in our philosophy. It talks about the suppressed libido. And we're not talking about sex now. We're talking about the libido, which is the desire of life to express itself. And so when we don't do that, when we don't express what is ours to express, and I've experienced this myself, we push it down and we don't let it out for whatever reason. And I'm talking about for the good of the whole now. I'm talking about your true self. You're pushing it down. What will happen is it will turn on us. It'll turn into something else that might not be all that great. It'll turn into something else, and we'll express that out instead. I'm not going to go into details, but I know this is the truth. We don't want to suppress, and I think I said that. We want to allow it to come out with passion, with love, for the good of the whole. Does this sound like good stuff? I mean, I think it does, and I think that if everyone, let's just start with ourselves. Because we can't control other people. We can't say, you need to practice the good of the whole for the good of the whole. We can't do that. And we can't go out into the world and try to make people do what we want them to do, or, we have to stand up within ourselves and show the world what we are. Gandhi said that, be the change we want to see. But you can't do that if you're not really intact with who you are. In sync with it and aligned with it and living it and expressing it in our own life. That's where it has to start. And I know that, hi, he's expressing the good of the whole in his own way. Well, we'll talk about that later. Okay. So, where was I? I was on the good of the whole. I don't think I need to say it anymore. I think we get it, right? That when we express what we think is the good of the whole for purposes like the people did in New Zealand, that's not the good of the whole, right, guys? I mean, let's face it. But they're still expressing something, and we still have to listen to that, because what they're expressing is something that is in the mass consciousness. We can't just step aside and say, that's not ours, they did it. We have to step in and go, what within me, like in Ho'oponopono, is reflecting that? What within me created that experience? Because I'm in it, I'm here, I'm witnessing it. So there's something for me to know. And I still say, no matter what we say, it just seems to me always that it has to go back here. Not in a selfish way, but it has to go back here, because just like when we did that beautiful meditation and held peace for them, it's felt. It's felt. So there is nowhere else to go. We go jumping out in uprisings and all this stuff, which are, they're all great, I guess. But I haven't seen them necessarily accomplish things for lasting times, because what they're not doing is they're not getting to the core of what is really going on, which is a bunch of just people that haven't tapped into their true identity, their true God self-identity. So I can't change other people, and I don't want to. What I want to do is change myself and want to offer the idea to express that divine thing that's been given to you, that you are, that's actually, like I said in my treatment, that's breathing us right here and right now, and live it for your highest good, for the highest good of the world, but bring that unique self that you are for the good of the whole. That's all I have to say. I love you for the good of the whole.
Well, I came upon a child of God. He was walking along the road, and I asked him, "Where are you going?" And this he told me. He said, "I'm going down to Yasgur's farm. I'm gonna join in a rock and roll band. I'm gonna camp out on the land and try and get my soul free. We are stardust, we are golden, and we've got to get ourselves back to the garden." Well, can I walk beside you? I've come to lose the smoke, and I'm feeling just like a coke. It's something turning round and round and round. Well, maybe it's just the time of year, or maybe it's the time I'm in, but I don't know who I am. Life is for learning. We are stardust, we are golden, and we've got to get ourselves back to the garden. By the time we got to Woodstock, we were 500 million strong, and everywhere was a song and celebration. And then I dreamed I saw the bombers riding shotgun in the sky. They were turning into butterflies above our nation. We are stardust, we are golden, and we've got to get ourselves back to the garden.
How perfect was that? Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Yeah, good. The good of the whole, boy, I see the good of the whole has increased since we first started here today. The whole is even bigger than it was when we started. That's beautiful. Rita was the absolutely, oh, sorry. Okay. Rita led this perfectly for me with her talk because mine was all about until we know the good for ourselves, that we have no good to really offer anyone else. And I know it sounds like a broken record. It was interesting. I was listening to Reverend Ike, who I just kind of stumbled onto. It's very Baptist minister, but very new thought. And he was talking about, I know I'm repeating myself. I know I'm repeating myself. That's because you've had years and years of negative repetition as well that we have to undo. So it makes sense to me because when people say that about Science of Mind text, he repeats himself. Well, maybe we didn't get it the first time. I mean, think about it. Repetition does work for us. At least it works for me. So, the good of the whole never used to sit well with me because I always thought that the good of the whole was sacrificing. What it meant was the good of the whole, and then I have to take my desires and put them in the back seat, while all of you get to have your way. That was my immature way of looking at the good of the whole. But as I've discovered it, it becomes more and more apparent to me what it really does mean. It was the same phrase I remember when I was a kid. It was like when I was told to be grateful for what I have, and that always meant to me that I shouldn't want more. See how all these messages that we think we're giving and passing down that are so powerful, it's all of our interpretations that really matter at the end of the day. I found this wonderful, I went to the Divine Healing Clinic. Who knew there was 1,000 of them? As we start to see the whole of ourselves, we learn to understand ourselves. As we start to understand ourselves, we see ourselves literally in a different light. Then we stop judging and start loving. If I'm kind to myself, I can be kind to you. The walls come down so the energies of compassion can return to their natural state of health. They can move, they can flow. Everything light up as bloodlines are purified and the dormant strands of our DNA come to life. Must repeat that one. Hello. We just talked about this in class the other night, right? They come, they move, and they flow. Everything lights up as bloodlines are purified and the dormant strands of our DNA come to life. That's our true selves. That's the wholeness that I know that I'm seeking. So, Joseph Campbell, who's my new love, by the way, Brene Brown is quite jealous. She said, why are you going back? And I said, Brene, it's not just all about you. And she said, yes, it is. Preachers err by trying to talk people into belief. Better they reveal the radiance of their own discovery. Once again, preachers err by trying to talk people into their belief. Better they reveal the radiance of their own discovery. Oh, what a week of discovery I had. And it was quite heavy. It could be heavy. Discovery can be heavy. And so what I mean by that, for me, I allowed, once again, to be mediated by a lot of the stuff that was going on in the media. I'm not blaming anyone but myself. I'm the one who looked. I'm the one who read. I'm the one who reacted. I'm the one who did it all. But nevertheless, I did get mediated. And so what I felt from it was this is what happened to me. So this is globally. I heard tweets that I was not happy about in our world. I heard that 49 of our beautiful brothers and sisters were killed. I continued to hear things like people sneaking into college, the university scandal. And then it kept going on that a senator slaps a teenager for cracking an egg on his head. But that's a whole story all by itself. It was in Australia. And it just goes on and on and on. And I felt my soul being sipped on. And I went into this place that I hardly ever go into. And here's the good news. I don't talk to you about anything that I don't get out of. I'm not up here for any pity party because I had my pity party. I was all by myself, and it was good. Nobody does a pity party like we do for ourselves. Do I speak truth? Amen? Amen. And then it wasn't enough, but then I looked in my own world. I said, let's stop looking out there, man. I'm going to take my own world. And there was some stuff going on there, too. Some fires to put out. Another meeting. And another meeting. Lots of meetings. If you think Sunday, we're all party, during the week, meetings. Lots of meetings. And I started to go deeper into that rabbit hole, right? And I said, well, this doesn't feel good. How can it feel good? How am I going to be the good of the whole in this particular feeling, this sensation of what's happening? I wanted to feel the good of the whole, but what I really only wanted to do was dig a hole and hide in it. That's what I wanted to do. Enough. Let me hide now. I don't want to feel this. And I said, you don't have a choice, man. You're a minister. You got to go there. It's Sunday morning. But I just want to be, as I always am, authentic with you. I understand the heaviness of it out there. But as I said earlier, we don't have the luxury. I have the luxury of digging a hole, getting into it for a couple days, having a little pity party. And I don't need any sympathy because there's nothing worse than sympathy. I'm sorry you feel that way, so we can all get in there and just, if I wouldn't say a word to anybody, because once I did, everybody's all in there, right? You think that's bad, man. Did you read? Did you hear? Did you see? Did you know what he's doing? So all of that was where I was. But then I climbed out of my hole, and I bet you want to know how I did that, don't you? Because Thursday and Friday, I was it just started getting a little deeper. And I started getting all those wonderful, powerful, empowering things started coming up, like fear and doubt, resentment. Oh, they're just like candy, aren't they? They feel so good. They feel so good, don't they? I'm angry at the world. Love it. My body's like, you can feel, my esophagus just going, boom, boom. I said, ooh, my goodness, my hole, what am I doing? But what I started to do is say, first of all, I love you, Patrick Feren. I love you. What do you need? What do you need? And I said, I need to just feel it. I need to just feel it for a minute. I don't want to fix it. I don't want to be the knight in shining armor, even though I look like it. Oh, God, to be me. Think about it. To be me. And it takes a lot to remember when you forget, when you're living in forgetfulness. But I wouldn't give it up for anything in the world, because this is a privilege, an absolute privilege to be alive during this time. And it seemed like everywhere I turned, when I went away from the world and then we turned into our world, and there was stuff coming up to be healed, to be known. And I started to feel a little better. I went on the internet and I said, let's find inspiration. Patrick needs some inspiration. So then that's when I ran into Reverend Ike and did a little bit of that. And, he's a little much, but I said, he's a little much, but a lot like me. I went, God, that guy, it's familiar to me. He's so, me. Because he loves, he gets excited, he gets, thrilled about this thing called life. And he also gets to the point of that we are responsible for it. That we are responsible for our lives. And I started to feel a little better. And then I said, did you talk to your inner child today? No, I did not. So I went in and I said, how you doing? I'm getting bored of this party, man. I'm getting bored of your pity party. I'm sorry. We need to get going. I said, wow. I was expecting a little bit more from my inner child, to be a little more understanding. But no, he just jumped in there and said that. So I was in the trenches and I got myself out. I got myself out because I remembered who I am. Woo! And then it was, yeah, you can applaud me because I came out, man. And don't stop. Just keep it, no. And I thought to myself, it was one of these moments, and it's such great moments about going back to the whole of yourself. When you feel, have you ever felt uninspired? Oh my God, it's so awful for me. Can you imagine? This is what I was doing, what Rita was talking about. Pushing it down even more until I'm like, if you've ever seen me with no expression, it is not pretty. I am one of the most expressive people I know. And I live me. And I'm going to tell you something. When I had this, I don't want to write my blog. Why should I write my blog? My blog isn't doing any good in a world. Should I tweet? No, don't tweet. We all know where that gets us. Oh, yes. We got church on Sunday. Oh, that's nice. We're going out to dinner, which we did go out to dinner with friends, and that gave me a light. I was coming out of the hole. And then the Saturday morning, I woke up saying, I want to be done with this. And I woke up, I'm going, I still feel a little numb here. I still feel like, what's the point? Can you imagine? And can you imagine I'm sharing it with you? Yes. I'm sharing it with you because this is what we all go through. And if you don't, then I would like to talk to you because St. Patrick, I want to see it. And if I can see that halo going on your behind you and shining and sainthood, because let me tell you something, this is a part of the journey. But how long are we going to stay there? That's the key. How long are we going to stay there? Because I'm going to tell you, when I went back to the whole of who I am, then I was smiling again. I was feeling again, and it wasn't pushed. It wasn't fake. It was real. And it was that part of me that said, let's do this. Come back, come back. And it sometimes is nice to kind of get a peek at what that's like in the land of misery. And what hurts the most about this wasn't that I was having a couple of days. It was that it was all self-made. It was self-made. And I created the island of misery so beautifully that you wouldn't even know it. What's the point? Oh, I can't even believe it could come out of my... What's the point? Have you ever felt that in our world? What's the point? I've tried to do good. We try to do this. We have to get over it. Stop it. We have to. Stop it. And then we watched it in class, the Bob Newhart, Stop It, if you ever check it out. Very funny. But it's classic, absolutely. But what Stop It is stop with your own self-made stuff. That's all it means. Stop being unkind. Stop being, whatever it is that's causing you misery. Now, let me tell you something. If you really enjoy misery, if you enjoy it, then it's fine. But we must remember it's self-made. I'm about ready to close, so I got to get all Ike here, Reverend Ike, because he gets excited about it. Oh, wow. The good of the whole. You are so whole and so complete. Can you imagine that we have been working to be what we already are? We have been working and putting pieces together to become whole. And we woke up whole. We will go to sleep whole. And it's just, what do we do with that wholeness? Preachers err by trying to talk people into their belief. I love what Rita said. This is what I think. We don't teach you what to think. We teach you how to think. That's what Science of Mind does. It doesn't teach you what to think. It teaches you how to think. And I know nobody in this room, but did you know that there are some people that haven't been thinking for a long time? They have not been thinking. So, I'm back. I'm back. And I'm back because I remembered who I am. And I hardly ever do this, but Rita was talking about this idea of productions, right? Theater production, and it's true. No, I'm not gonna sing a song. What was so funny is all of a sudden it kind of was like leading into like a cabaret number. It's like, I don't usually do this, but I'm about to sing a little song for you, but I'm not. What I really wanted to do, there's no business like show business. No, what I really wanted to do was, and I hardly ever do this, but I do want to acknowledge, since this is my day of gratitude, the other thing, in closing, kind of, is that here's what really, really pulled you out of the wonderful little quicksand. Gratitude, baby. Not an attitude, as they say, attitude of gratitude. Brene Brown says she has an attitude of yoga. She said, I got yoga pants, I got yoga shoes, but you don't need any yoga shoes. I got a yoga mat somewhere. But I don't do yoga. So this is what I say about gratitude. Attitude of gratitude is just an attitude. But if you don't practice gratitude, then it's not going to do us any good. So I'm practicing a lot of gratitude. But there's a young man in the audience today, and that's Isaac Doobie, who is such a brilliant young actor who is in the good of the whole of The Hunchback of Notre Dame and will be soon opening. And I just want to acknowledge him because we had a beautiful conversation on the phone. Isaac, I tell everything, so don't worry about it. But I tell everything. But what it really was when I listened to this young man and his work and how he's putting together Quasimodo, how he's doing this, I thought, and in every moment, he was talking for the good of the whole. How is this whole production with everybody involved? How's it going to touch all of you when you see it? That's what our message is. How can my wholeness support the good of the whole? And it's by first remembering how good we are, how powerful we are. And then we have a lot to contribute to the whole of it. Now, I know you're going to find this very, very unbelievable, but I am complete. Mahalo. Yes. Yeah. Woo! Do you guys feel whole? Let's hear it. I am whole. I am whole. Woo! I am holy.
You are holy.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so this is our time of giving, and that's why I had to go back there because I had forgotten our money. So I was like, I have to put that in there. Yeah, this is our time to celebrate Center for Spiritual Living, and thank you in advance for all the beautiful gifts you give here in time and talent and finances. It's all supporting us for the good of the whole, for sure. So let's read the affirmation in our program. I freely and joyously give from the abundance and fullness of my overflowing wealth, knowing my gift goes with love as it touches and blesses Center for Spiritual Living Kauai, my life, and the world, and so it is. Up a little bit.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful wonderful friends, my wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for my health, Spirit, thank you for my health. Thank you for my health, Spirit, thank you for my health. My radiant, my radiant, my radiant health. My radiant, my radiant, my radiant health.
Okay, so what I know right here and right now, as these baskets come forward, that in them is Sue Buckley. So within them is the consciousness of God, of Spirit, moving through us in this thing called money, this thing called life, and I'm so grateful for it. Grateful for these gifts that come to Center for Spiritual Living Kauai through each and every person here. And I know as they come here, they go back out to prosper this world and bless each and every one of us, because as we give, we receive. So I am grateful, grateful, grateful. As I just release this word, I let it go, as we say. And so it is. Mahalo. Okay. All right. I think we have children. A child. Malia, I think Malia learned about somebody called St. Patrick today, didn't she? And it wasn't Patrick, was it?
Anyway, I tried to get a shamrock, and I had them to do this. Does anybody notice that's a four-leaf clover? But anyway, she had fun, in and out, up and down. But since this is St. Patrick's Day, and I'm Irish descent, I want to give you the St. Patrick's Day blessing, wishing you a heart free of sadness, a mind free of worries, a life full of gladness, a body free of illness, and a spirit full of God's blessing. And may the devil miss you after you've been dead 2 days.
Let's give Malia our blessing.
And we are live.
Yeah. Okay, Malia. All right, let's give her our blessing. She'll hear it wherever she is. You are amazing. You are perfect. You are magnificent. And we love you. Yeah.
Wow.
Woo.
That's like a scene out of The Lion King.
All right, let's invite everybody. Don't forget, we have men and women's group after. Let's invite the practitioners up that are serving today. Yay, Reverend Diane, Dr. Peggy, Malia. If you've had something come up for you, something
And
you
Rob
need to
is
know the
back
truth,
there.
but Rob back there, Michelle, if something's come up for you that you need to know the truth about, the truth of who you are, the wholeness of who you are, please take time with one of these beautiful ladies or Rob back there and have a spiritual mind treatment that reminds you of your wholeness. So that is a gift, our gift to you.
I wonder if everyone was surprised that I did not do my talk on St. Patrick. I thought of it. Yeah, I thought of it. But I thought, that they're expecting that. So, but it's okay. Please do not call me St. Patrick. Patrick is fine. Patrick is fine.
All right. So I think we're ready.
69%.
All right. I think we're ready to close out. And you get to do that. So.
Yes, I do.
All right. Let's do it. Everybody stand. Woo!
Let's have at it.
Today is the day I will change my luck. I will find 3 pennies and they'll be heads up. I will walk like a queen in my tennies and jeans, 'cause I know where I come from. From the stars and the sun, from that magical one, I am part of this thing called life, yeah. From the known to unseen and everything in between, I am part of this thing called life. I am one with this thing called life. Yeah, today is the day I remember to see only good, only God happening through you and me. I will not forget all the treasures due me, 'cause I know where I come from. From the stars and the sun, from the magical one, I am part of this thing called life, yeah. From the known to unseen and everything in between, I am part of this thing called life. I am one with this thing called life.
And as we continue to express this thing called life, this wonderful, whole and complete life that each and every one of us is expressing. This is what I know, that I am filled with gratitude. I woke up with gratitude, and I'm going to bed with gratitude. And I know that that is the answer. The answer is in our gratitude. And I am so grateful for this wonderful Michelle LeMay, who wears so many hats here at CSL Kauai. And she did those announcements, all of those announcements beautifully, and our wonderful treatment as a practitioner. So we say thank you. And so DJ, who stepped in for Emma today, I just say thank you, and Sue Buckley and Maureen and all of this wonderful team, this wonderful family. And Rob Jones back there making it possible with that wonderful Jonathan Lee over there, who makes sure that we are heard with perfection as perfection. And Roseanne in the bookstore, and is also our collection steward today. Yes, right there. And our beautiful, beautiful flowers from Loya. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Ron Stover and that team that's always moving and shaking back there, I just say thank you. I say thank you from the depths of my heart. And Maria Christina, with your beautiful music, with that wonderful man next to her, Luis, who's keeping the beat for all of us here. And Reverend Diane for assisting us today in so many things, but that wonderful, wonderful beginning for the peace candle. And I just say thank you to all of you. Thank you to all of you from that wholeness, the whole of the good. And I know that it is good, it is great, it is wonderful, it is our identity to shine. So from this place of gratitude, I say thank you, thank you. Can I hear thank you? Thank you. Can I hear mahalo? Mahalo. And can I hear let it be? Can I hear and so it is?
Yeah, today is the day
I'll be more of myself, love my skin where I've been, and everyone else. No more push, no more pull, only throw as I go, cause I know where I come from. From the stars and the sun and the magical one,
I am part of this thing called life, yeah. From the known to unseen, everything in between, I am part of this thing called life. I am one with this thing called life. From the stars and the sun, from that magical word, I am part of this thing called life, yeah. From the known to unseen and everything in between, I am part of this thing called life. I am one with this thing called life.